Fairy Tales, The Power of the Fire and Ice Queen. In a small, remote village by a dense forest, there lived a young woman named Elara. Her parents had passed away early, leaving her to fend for herself. The villagers shunned Elara, for she possessed an unusual gift, the ability to speak with trees, animals, and all of nature. To them, she was strange, someone to be feared. But to the forest, she was a true friend and companion. Though often cast aside, Elara remained cheerful and found comfort in her connections with nature. She would spend hours sitting beneath an ancient tree, sharing her feelings with the animals and trees around her. They became her friends, her confidants, and in their presence, she never felt alone. One day, as she sat by a river, Elara encountered a mysterious man. He called himself a wanderer, with a dark charm and a smile that lured her into conversation. He promised to help her escape her lonely life, saying he could give her the life she deserved. Drawn by the promise of a better life, Elara trusted him and agreed. But as soon as she accepted, the man vanished into a cloud of black smoke, leaving behind an eerie chill in her heart. From that day on, Elara's life fell into turmoil. Villagers avoided her even more. The animals and trees grew silent, and her body weakened. It seemed as though a dark curse had taken hold, draining every joy and hope from her life. Elara, lost in despair, felt she was cursed to live in misery forever. One night, while sitting by the forest edge, an elderly woman with silver hair appeared before Elara. Her bright eyes glowed with wisdom and kindness. She told Elara that a demon had cursed her and that only the elemental spirits, the spirit of fire and the spirit of ice, held the power to break the curse. But to seek their help, Elara would have to face many difficult trials, requiring immense bravery and resilience. Inspired by the woman's words, Elara set out on her journey, determined to free herself from the curse and find her true power. Elara ventured deeper into the forest, but it no longer felt familiar. The trees moved ominously, reaching out to ensnare her with their branches. The animals, once her friends, now growled and glared at her with wild, hostile eyes. Realizing she had to prove herself to the forest once more, Elara spoke gently to the trees and animals, expressing her respect and requesting passage. Her sincerity and humility won over the forest. And, as the trees and animals calmed, they opened a path for her, allowing her to continue her journey. After leaving the forest, Elara arrived at a fiery mountain, the home of the fire spirit. The majestic fire spirit, emanating immense power, challenged her courage. To prove herself, Elara had to cross a blazing bridge and retrieve a red gem in the heart of an unquenchable flame. Despite the searing heat, Elara pressed forward, feeling the flames licking at her skin. Step by step, she moved closer until she grasped the red gem. The fire spirit, witnessing her courage, gifted her the power of fire, transforming its flames into a part of her soul. With the fire spirit's blessing, Elara journeyed on to the icy peaks where the ice spirit resided. She entered a labyrinth of frozen pathways, where painful memories of her past came to life, villagers taunting and shunning her. reminding her of all the rejection and loneliness she had endured. To pass the ice spirit's trial, Elara had to release her resentment, forgive herself, and let go of the past. Only then could she find peace within herself. The ice spirit, satisfied with her acceptance and calm, granted her the power of ice, making it part of her being. Guided by her newfound strength, Elara discovered a hidden cave within the mountains, a place where all who possess elemental powers must confront their deepest truths. Within the cave, Elara faced her shadow self, her doubts, fears, and anger from her past. Her shadow mocked her, saying she was unworthy of the powers she had gained. But instead of fighting, Elara looked upon her shadow with compassion and forgave herself. As she embraced her shadow, it dissolved, leaving her feeling whole and at peace for the first time in her life. Leaving the cave, Elara felt a new strength within her, a harmony between fire and ice. Her power no longer felt divided, instead, it fused into one, creating a pure, radiant energy. With this balance, Elara knew she was ready to face whatever lay ahead, including the dark forces that threatened her village. As Elara returned to her village, a sense of dread filled her heart. She was shocked to see the once lively village cloaked in thick darkness, the air heavy and still. Homes lay in ruins. Fields were burned and barren, and villagers huddled behind walls, terror evident in their eyes. From the depths of the darkness, the demon emerged, its red eyes glowing with malice, a sinister grin stretching across its face. Elara took a deep breath, feeling fear but summoning her courage. She knew that this battle wasn't just for her own redemption but for everyone she cared about. The demon sneered, mocking her, claiming that she was still the weak girl he had cursed. Rage flickered in her heart, but she controlled it, refusing to give in to his taunts. She knew this wasn't just a personal fight, she was fighting to protect the village. As she focused, the demon attacked, sending waves of darkness toward her, sharp and jagged like claws aimed to tear her apart. Elara quickly summoned her ice powers, forming a shield that stood firm against the oncoming waves of darkness. The clash was deafening, and as darkness and ice collided, cracks began forming in her shield. The demon's power was immense, and the impact shattered pieces of ice into sparkling fragments that scattered across the ground. Seeing that ice alone would not be enough, Elara summoned her flames, creating pillars of fire that blazed toward the demon. The flames struck the shadows, forcing them to recoil. But the demon retaliated with a deadly black mist. The mist surrounded her flames, smothering them, and Elara felt her control slipping as the fire dimmed. The powers of fire and ice within her began to clash, like a raging storm inside her soul. She felt her strength waning, as if the two elements were battling each other rather than working together. The demon cackled, sensing her struggle, and launched another assault. Dark tendrils reaching for her, relentless and brutal. As the demon's attack intensified, Elara found herself staggering back, overwhelmed by the internal struggle between fire and ice. The two forces within her raged, neither willing to yield to the other. Her body ached as if it was being torn in two, and she could feel her energy dwindling. The demon laughed, its voice a taunting whisper that echoed in her mind. You will never master your powers. They will destroy you from within, it sneered. Closing in on her, Elara felt a flicker of doubt. Was the demon right? Was she doomed to be consumed by her own powers? In that moment of despair, a memory surfaced, the old woman's words about harmony and balance. Elara remembered that her powers could only reach their true potential if she found peace within herself. She closed her eyes, blocking out the demon's taunts, focusing instead on calming her mind and heart. She breathed deeply, embracing both the warmth of her fire and the chill of her ice, allowing them to settle and coexist within her. With her newfound calm, Elara opened her eyes. She raised her hands, one engulfed in fire, the other encased in ice. And instead of clashing, the two powers began to merge. A radiant light formed between her hands, a pure fusion of fire and ice. The energy felt different, stronger, more complete. The demon's sneer turned to shock as it sensed the shift in Elara's power. In a final desperate move, it unleashed all its darkness in a massive wave aimed at her. But Elara was ready. She released the combined energy, sending a vortex of fire and ice spiraling toward the demon, piercing through the darkness and striking the demon at its core. The demon screamed, its form disintegrating as the harmonious energy of fire and ice tore it apart. Shadows and darkness faded, replaced by a blinding light that enveloped the entire village. When the light receded, the demon was gone, reduced to nothing but ash. Elara stood victorious, her body and soul filled with newfound strength and balance. The villagers emerged from their hiding places, their faces filled with awe and gratitude. For the first time, Elara was not seen as an outcast but as their protector, the Fire and Ice Queen, who had saved them from eternal darkness. Under Elara's care, the village slowly came back to life. She used her power over fire to bring warmth during the cold seasons and her control over ice to provide fresh, clean water. The villagers built a statue in her honor at the village center, depicting her holding the red and blue gem, a symbol of her mastery over fire and ice. Elara had not only earned the villagers' respect but had also become a beacon of hope, strength, and compassion. Her story became a legend, passed down from generation to generation as a reminder of courage, resilience, and unity. In times of darkness, the villagers would look to the statue of Elara and remember her legacy. They believed that whenever fire and ice merged in the twilight or dawn, Elara's spirit watched over them, protecting their home. And so, Elara, the Fire and Ice Queen, lived forever in their hearts, a symbol of unending light and warmth, a testament to the power of love and harmony in overcoming any challenge.